All right, Friday update. 47 is now running the country. Let's start with Monday and inauguration night and the executive orders, specifically the pardoning of the January 6th rioters and protesters. You know, it was extremely disappointing. The National FOP released a statement which was pretty spot on about the disappointment and the belief that that judgment was absolutely wrong, that people need to be held accountable for their behavior. Now, you could have conversations all day long about who let them into the Capitol, who assisted with them, but the reality is trespassing is quite different than violently attacking law enforcement officers. And for the January 6ers that violently attacked officers, they should have been held accountable. They should have had to serve out their sentences. It does send a bad signal. But let's not kid anybody. This is a political football. For the left to now try and claim the high ground, the moral high ground on supposedly backing the blue is a farce. It is a joke, especially in this state where they created the Safety Act that is anything but that and put more violent offenders out on the street with no cash bail specifically, amongst other things. And I'll remind everybody that back in 2020, in the fall of 2020 or late summer, we had 51 officers injured at the Columbus statue assault that not a single offender has been held accountable for yet. That investigation died on the vine. Not only did the feds not give a damn, the state didn't give a damn, and even our own department didn't do much of an investigation to find out who attacked our 51 officers and hold them accountable. Why? I guess we'll never know. But let's not kid anybody that now all of a sudden Democrats are pro back to blue. Never been the case for quite a long time, and it's not changing anytime soon. But we cannot sit here and defend Joe Biden's ridiculous and illegal, I think, pardons of not only criminals who did kill police officers, but also preemptive pardons for his family and other criminal behaviors, because he knew they were going to be exposed. Just because he does something stupid and improper or illegal doesn't mean that it makes it okay for the other side to do that. That argument was always a joke. We need to do better. We need to demand better. That's a decision President Trump's going to live with, for the rest of his legacy. That's on him. Onward we go. But let's talk about, since we're talking about presidents and immigration specifically, who knows when Tom Homan and the Icemen coming. But earlier today, there was a report that ICE was trying to get into a school in the back of the yards. Again, more.
You are fake news.
It is. It was a Secret Service who took credit for the vehicle outside, and they were doing an investigation where apparently somebody was to be named as a suspect or a suspicious person that's in the school, which was why they tried to gain entry into the school. It was the Secret Service. It was not ICE. But yet, CPS, Stacey Gates couldn't wait to get in front of a camera and talk about how they're defending the kids, and the kids are just trying to learn, and ICE needs to stop when it wasn't even ICE to begin with. It shouldn't be shocking that they couldn't get that right. They can't even teach reading and writing and arithmetic. So, but yet, they want more money. And on that note, when is the Inspector General going to get off their ass and do something and weigh in on the mayor's conflict of interest about still a leave of absence from CPS as the mayor, negotiate a contract that would increase his benefits in the long term when he does come off his leave, when he basically gets voted out of office if we don't get the recall done before then. He made a comparison about leaves of absences for union leaders, whether it's myself or other FOP leaders who are here or fire department. We're not negotiating contracts on behalf of the city. You are, you clown. You are absolutely probably less intelligent than the fifth graders that you used to teach when you're using these ridiculous arguments, if you seriously believe them, or you believe that we're all that dumb to believe your arguments. But to say you are not in a conflict of interest, but you don't care, you do what you want to do. Just like you let your alderman, your little lapdog Mitchell, hire somebody from the do not hire list that's supposed to be not there, but now he's a staffer for Alderman Mitchell's ward. Ridiculous. No accountability. Zero. Should we go on? How about your goof of a CPS board member president who has a part-time job who demands that he needs a driver and a car? What a joke. This is the city you are turning this into. And I hope to God that you get in Tom Homan's way, because I hope they put you in handcuffs, along with any of your lapdog aldermen who believe that this is the right path to choose in defending them. And that goes for the governor too. You know, there's a lot of tough talk about standing up to the federal government when all they're doing is upholding the law that you all claim that you support the law. You don't. You took an oath to uphold it. You don't. You talk about not wanting criminals in this state, but you do nothing to help facilitate that. It's real simple. Let the state police cooperate, let the Department of Corrections cooperate, and turn over these names to ICE so they can get out the people that they want, the criminals, the terrorist list people, and also the ones over 1 million who have already deportation issues ordered by a court and a judge if you follow the law. All you're doing is obstructing, and all that's going to do is drag in more people who are not on the terrorist watch list, who are not violent convicted felons, and who are not subject to a deportation order. Anybody with those people are all going to go now because of your stupidity. And I hope to God Trump suspends all federal funding to these sanctuary cities, including Chicago and the state of Illinois, until you start doing right. That is the right thing to do. You don't get to have it both ways. You're either for the citizens of this city and state, or you're not. And so far you've proven you're not. All you care about is the illegals here and all the money you have wasted on them. Well, your day of reckoning is coming, and it can't come too soon. Lastly, I will tell you the arbitration came back on the healthcare increase that the city implemented unilaterally last January. I don't know what the arbitrator was thinking. Kind of crazy, but his interpretation of the agreement is absolutely as misguided and incorrect as could be. And he basically said the city had the authority to implement the increase when it was clear as day that there was an understanding and an agreement that there had to be health. We did health screenings for a reason, and those screenings were supposed to show us savings. And if those savings were significant, the increase wouldn't go in. He totally discarded the whole process of the screenings and the purpose behind them for the significant savings threshold to be met. So we will be filing a motion in court to vacate that award in whole. But we're also demanding arbitration on the terminology for significant savings, which was always the step that should have been taken prior to last January. But this city can't do anything right. There is some gamesmanship with the attorneys here. Shame on Jim Franzik and his law firm, specifically Dave Johnson, who gave testimony in this arbitration. They were deceitful at best, or I should say at worst, and outright lied at worst, because they knew in sitting in those agreements what it was supposed to be. And I specifically remember saying, if we don't have an agreement on the language, we just go to arbitration, let an arbitrator decide, and we'll go from there. That was always the way the language was done. Disgusting. But onward we go. Everybody have a safe weekend. I think we're going to have some pretty interesting fireworks coming up in the next few days in Chicago, and stay tuned and buckle up.